Okay, so I started doing my usual traditional Formula One season preview video, and I got a bit late in producing the last, what was it, the last segment of it, and I thought, you know what, let me just come back to it. So I came back to it and started editing it, and lo and behold, I actually started in February. Lo and behold, on the day that I finished putting it together and rendering it out, it was the day of qualifying in Australia. And what happened? The race didn't go forward, so I didn't upload it, and there was no season preview, there was no preview of anything, there weren't any reviews of any races. Obviously, because of the pandemic, there's been no sport at all, actually. Well, not much apart from wrestling. And yeah, it's been an interesting period in our human history. And I thought to myself, okay, well, I've got time to put together a season preview for the new Formula One season, which starts in July, and it is going to be crazy. So I'm going to talk about that in this video, but this video is going to be stretched between a couple of days. I'll be honest with you, I haven't kept up with a lot of the news. There are some things that I haven't actually checked into, but I realized that there's a few movements within drivers and teams and stuff like that, and it's going to make a really interesting season. So grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the Formula One races for this year. Now, it's not fully set because there are some more that should be announced, but I'm going to read them off my phone, the ones that are available, and you'll probably know this by now, or by the time you're watching this anyway. So we've got July 5th, Austria. July 12th, Austria. We've got the 19th of July, which is Hungary. 2nd of August, Great Britain. And then 9th of August, Great Britain again. And where are we? Sorry, my screen lock kicked in. And then August 16th, Spain. And then August 30, Belgium, and then the final one, which would be the 6th of September, as Italy. So that's that for the actual races that are going to happen this year. But the brilliant thing is that they are trying to get some more races in, so that calendar may change. There might be stuff in between if there is any room to put anything in between, or if not, then towards the end of the year, and we might have like a Christmas Grand Prix. You never know, that might be fun. So I've just realized there's not going to be a Nico Hülkenberg this season. What the hell? Who are the drivers for this season? I'm gonna go through them. I'm gonna check them out on my phone, on the official Formula One app, because I totally forgot, as I said previously, that Nico Hülkenberg isn't coming back, and for some strange reason I thought he was. So let's see what we've got. So for Mercedes, we've got Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Now this might be either Bottas's last year or Lewis's last year, I reckon. Lewis will either jump ship to Ferrari, or Bottas will be taken off and Vettel be put in his place. If that's the case, I think Bottas may exit Formula One, which is unfortunate. So then let's go over to the Ferrari team. We've got Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, or Leclerc. So we obviously know from last season that Charles Leclerc is the #1 driver in that team, and Sebastian Vettel has proved once again he can't overtake in a pack, so that's why he's not been winning. Yeah, so Vettel either out to Mercedes, or if he stays there, then he's going to try and push Leclerc out. But again, this is all future projections. I don't really want to go into that, but it's hard not to. So for Red Bull, we've got Max Verstappen and Alex Albon. Max Verstappen I like he speaks his mind. He's very much like Lewis and a few other drivers. Do I think he's got a bit of a hot head? Yes. I think sometimes he needs to learn to zip it instead of going around wanting to headbutt people. Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris make up the team at McLaren. Now, Carlos Sainz I really like. Lando Norris I don't like, but all the British commentators and what have you seem to get on really well with him. Okay, so for Renault we have Daniel Ricciardo, who we know is gonna go over to McLaren next year. And we got Esteban, oh no we haven't, yeah, we got Esteban Ocon, who I think he is a good driver, but I haven't really seen that spark in him that I think, yeah, okay, what everyone's talking about, it's legit. He could be, you know, one of the stronger guys to come through the ranks. But so far, I haven't really been impressed. Okay, so for AlphaTauri, we've got Pierre Gasly and we've got Danny Kvyat. Danny Kvyat, please find another team to work with. Ditch Red Bull. They're not helping you at all in any way. If you could get a drive with either Renault, yeah, either with Renault or McLaren, I think you'll be in a good position, better than where you are now. Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll make Racing Point, or the Stroll team as I like to call them. Yeah, Perez, hard worker, good driver, knows when to get angry on the road and knows when to be calm on the road to an extent. Will these guys take each other out? I don't think so, but the team is owned by Lance Stroll's dad, so if his son's not pushing it, then he has to do something, because he can't just keep him in the team forever, and it's not going to be good for him in the long run. If Stroll can show some signs of improving, he could obviously go to a different team, and he needs to go to a different team. He can't just stay in his dad's team, because it would just be classed as, oh yeah, you're just a driver because your dad owns a team. Yeah, so for Alfa Romeo Racing we have Kimi Räikkönen and Antonio Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi, you know what, I hardly see much that happens with Antonio Giovinazzi. I love his name, he's so Italian, it's such an Italian name, it's like amazing. Kimi Räikkönen on the other hand, I think, I'm not sure, but did he say he was retiring at the end of this season? Possibly, I don't know, I can't remember now. There was something I heard, it must have been a soundbite from an old TV show or something. But he's still in there, and he's still in a good team, a goodish team. And yeah, I hope he gives a younger person a chance. I understand he likes the money, but I'm sure he can invest it in something else and then live off that. Okay, so for Haas F1, we have Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, two of my favorite drivers. And do you know what? When it comes to drivers, people ask me, oh, who's your favorite driver of the current line, obviously. And I always say I don't really have one. I just like certain people and certain teams. I don't follow a particular team. I used to. It always used to be Ferrari when Michael was driving a Ferrari and all that kind of stuff. And it was Alonso whenever he was in a Renault or a Ferrari. So, you know, it's it depends on the combination, the person and the team at the time, and not how strong they are, because I like the smaller teams too, who are always pushing along. And Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen are two of probably my favorite ones to always watch out for on a race day. And I like their interviews when they give them, and I like the fact that they're still there. They're in it was a midfield team, but it's obviously a lot further down now. It's the second from the bottom at the moment, and I hope these two stay in Formula One for a long time, because these guys are good. Roman started off coming into Formula One and creating accidents and dramas, much like Maldonado, much like who else came in like a torpedo? I can't remember now. But yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, he's learned, he's come up in the category as a rookie driver all the way up to, you know, a career driver, and he's a decent driver, I'll be honest with you. And Kevin Magnussen, such a good driver, and he kept it going with McLaren, and hopefully he can get a bigger team drive soon. So let's talk about the final team, the team that has now been sold. We have George Russell and Nicholas Latifi for Williams. Again, George Russell, another one that the British commentators always big up. I don't like using that word. Yeah, so George Russell, another driver that the British Formula One commentators are always harping on about. Not too sure what I've seen so far, but these new youngsters, not just the British ones, but all these guys that are doing the Formula E tournaments or esports tournaments, they're actually doing pretty well, and it's pretty good to see. And a lot of these, like George Russell and what's his name, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc and Alex Albon, they all look like kids, like proper like 17-18 year olds. So obviously they're gonna be good at the esports and stuff, but I haven't watched a lot of it over the, you know, this pandemic period. But what I have seen, it's not the same as just watching Formula One racing drivers on an actual track with fans and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't end up watching most of it. What I would have liked to have seen is every single current driver participate. Now that would have been interesting to see, if you're good in real life or are you good in the computer games. That would be a good test. Nicholas Latifi, I still haven't seen anything of him. I don't think that Sky F1 have actually even interviewed him. But I know he's there on practice days and on qualifying. But I think this is the first time he's actually got the drive. Is that right? Or did he drive last year? So this is what I mean. They obviously only speak to the ones that they want to speak to, the ones that people want to hear from. But these guys need a bit of exposure. Like Nicholas Latifi, I'm sure he has had some kind of interview, and I might have skipped it or something. Maybe even at Melbourne this year he had an interview. But again, it's just, I don't know. So that was the drivers. Let's have a look at the constructors. Well, they haven't really changed. So we have Mercedes, obviously, Haas F1, McLaren, Alfa Romeo Racing, Red Bull Racing, Renault, Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Williams, and Racing Point. Now, for some strange reason, on the Formula 1 app, they've got them listed in a weird way. So the first team is Mercedes, and then Haas. Basically, how I've read it out to you, that's how it's been listed. I wonder why. That's it. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you, and I always do, to be fair. The only times I don't look forward to a race is when I know that I'm gonna be missing most of it, and at that point I don't even leave where I'm sitting. I just watch it all in one go for 6 hours or 9 hours or however long it will take. So tell me what you think in the comments, what you want to happen. Will this short year be good for Mercedes? Will it be good for Ferrari, Red Bull? I think Red Bull are going to be strong this year. I have a feeling about that. I think Daniel Ricciardo has to push it out of the bag this season to then go over to McLaren on a high. So yeah, I'm excited, nervous a little bit. I don't know how the format's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see Formula 1 without fans. It's just going to be weird. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.